We're going to look at differentiating between genotype and phenotype, dominant and recessive, homozygous and heterozygous. And we're going to look at Punnett squares, how to determine what type of Punnett squares we use. And there are many different ones that we're going to look at, okay? We're going to look at blood type. We're going to look at Healy. Are you writing? You should be writing.
I got it.
We're going to look at blood type. We're going to look at sex-linked traits. We're going to look at codominance and incomplete dominance, okay? So that you all can learn how we get these traits and how we get these traits from our parents, okay? And then we're going to interpret those Punnett squares. Lazaro, what's your last name? Lazaro.
Wait, is that a her?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
All right. No, she's back there now. Yeah. Don't go yet, because we got to get through this. All right, so with the person beside you, which trait do you think comes from your DNA and why? So look at this and determine what traits come from your DNA, and also which traits do you think come from the environment and why. Okay? So with the person beside you, decide.
I think all of those maybe.
I feel like allergies come with
Alejandro, you want to stand up? Your side? That's the person you can see here. They can see your kids.
Wait, what the? Pierce ears are gay? Wow. Bro, I said her.
All right, so tell me.
I'm straight.
Okay. Which traits come from your DNA? Somebody give me the first one.
Brown
Elijah.
eyes.
Brown eyes.
Blue
Healy.
eyes.
Okay, she went all the way down here. What about blue eyes?
Yes, DNA.
Yes. What about normal vision?
No.
Yes, that definitely
DNA,
comes
exactly.
from your DNA. What about nearsightedness?
I don't know what that means.
That comes from your DNA. Nearsightedness is when you can see near but can't see far. I think that's right. I always get it mixed up because I have a little bit of both. What about dark hair? You get it from your DNA.
DNA. Hardworking is not DNA. Straight hair is not DNA.
Hard working.
No.
No. What about straight hair?
Yes.
Yes. What about widow's peak?
No.
Yes, that's what I asked you. If you have that little peak right there, that's called a widow's peak. We definitely get that from our parents. What about dimples?
My granddaddy got
Yes.
a cheetah hair.
Yeah. Dimples, that means possibly you could have it too. Attached earlobes. I didn't do that one, but if your earlobes are attached or unattached, that's also a trait that shows up.
Yeah.
What about freckles?
Yeah.
Okay. What about pierced ears?
No.
No, we get that in our environment when we go get them pierced. What about allergies?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely from our family, and tongue rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in your DNA.
What?
So, pierced ears, hard working, and scars come from your environment. Okay? So, this is what genetics is. Okay? Genetics is the study of our traits and how they are inherited from our parents. Okay? How they're inherited from parents to offspring. Write the definition down. Thank you to those of you that are already writing.
I don't know how to write, man.
I'm right, so like you can see that on the responsibility.
Can you write for me? Nick, can you write for me?
I've already written. Is that it there?
Can you do it again?
Okay. From parents to offspring. This is what we're studying.
Can I just cut it short? So it's like
It's your notes if you want to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. No. Yeah, no, not right now. And when we finish this thing. Okay? Okay. All right, so.
What are we looking at?
Okay, we're ready.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know what we're looking at?
All right. So, do you know who Gregor Mendel is?
He made the toaster.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take other stuff.
Gregor Mendel is the father of genetics.
How?
Okay? I'm not gonna have you Google him because I want us to keep moving. But he is the father of, you're gonna watch a short video on him tomorrow. Okay? He discovered, or he developed the theory or the law of genetics, okay? He worked with pea plants, okay?
Pea plants.
Pea plants, okay? So,
Like this?
that, you don't have to write anything to that. 'cause
Wait, oh no,
that's
what? You have to write who's the father.
Is the father of genetics.
George Mendel.
Yeah,
Gregor.
Gregor Mendel.
Gregor Mendel.
Same thing, bro.
No, it's
Okay. His name is Gregor Mendel.
Gregor Butt.
Or I spelled his name so.
All right, so what is a gene? A gene is a section of a chromosome. It is what tells us, again, eye color, hair color, skin color. Okay, and not all genes control one thing. Some genes control multiple things. We will be looking at what's also called polygenic traits. Polygenic traits, how they're controlled by more than one gene. Okay, so a gene is a section of the DNA. And this picture, actually, we're going to do too. This is called a karyotype. You all will do this when we get almost to spring break. It's a very short lesson. Okay, so you inherit 2 copies of chromosomes, or 2 copies of every gene from one parent. Okay, Alyssa, bring me your phone.
No, I was checking notifications.
No.
Sorry.
I don't care what you were checking. No, ma'am. Each copy is called an allele, so you get one from, you get 2 copies of every gene from one parent. Okay, one from mom, one from 2 copies from every parent. Okay, because each of your parents had parents, so they got it from their grandparents and so forth. Each copy is called an allele.
Khalil?
Allele. Okay.
What's a gene? That's a lily.
The gene is a section of a chromosome or DNA, a section of DNA. Okay?
Let me write this. How do you write this?
Yeah, everybody should be writing. In most cases, each gene has a dominant or a recessive allele possibility. It's dominant or recessive. What does dominant mean? Elijah, what do you say?
The common thing
What?
around every gene.
No, stronger. Dominant means stronger. So if dominant means stronger, then recessive means what? Smaller or weaker. Okay? Dominant is stronger. It is the one that shows up. Okay? Ian, you ready to stand up? Okay? These alleles or genes determine what proteins get made or expressed. The dominant one is the one that shows up. Okay? So your hair type, your eye color, skin color, that was the dominant thing that was expressed. It showed up. Okay? That's the trait that was expressed. Okay? Genes or alleles are inherited independently. So it's inherited from mom or dad without any coaxing, independently. Okay? Not saying go here, go there. It happens independently from the other. So eye goes with eye, ear goes with ear, nose goes with nose, so forth. Just because you inherited brown hair does not mean you will have brown eyes. Okay? All right. So now the first. You good? Okay. Okay. So the first 2 words or terms you're learning is genotype and phenotype. Genotype or genes, genotype are the genes that make up your body, the type of genes you have. We use letters to represent those genes. So AA, those are the genes. A big A, two big A's, the genes. Big A, little a, two little A's, RR. Those are the genes, okay? The phenotype or physical. Phenotype is the physical look, okay, that shows up. Phenotype is the physical. So it's what we look like, or our physical appearance. Brown hair, brown eyes, blue eyes, tall, short, okay? Phenotype, physical, genotype, the letters, okay? So,
Phenotype, what we look like.
Cash, come here so you can do this first one for me. Come here. Okay? On your sheet, make sure you're paying attention because they are switched up on your sheet on purpose. But circle the phenotype. And remember, phenotype is the physical. Circle them now.
I can't really see the example, miss, because he's blocking the
You
screen.
don't need the example. The example's on your paper.
No, I need the example. It's not there.
No.
If you don't say,
Miss, it's not there.
Yeah, it is. It's there.
wait, miss.
How do I tell you it's not?
This.
Look, it says genotype and
Phenotype?
example and phenotype. It's not there.
Yeah, circle the phenotype. Phenotype again is the physical. Good. Good. Perfect. Okay? The physical look. We can see somebody rolling their tongue. We can see somebody with freckles, and we can see somebody with long fingers. Now, the genotype are the genes. Circle the genotype. The genotype are the letters, genes. Okay? How they are represented. I'm going to check. Good. Perfect.
I go
Okay?
back.
Yeah. And circle yours. So phenotype is physical, genotype are the genes. Yes, ma'am.
Miss, I think you made an error.
Where?
On the paper, you put for the first time you put genotype instead of.
No, I said it's switched up on purpose. Okay?
So. Right now,
It's forcing you to read. Genotype are the genes. Phenotype is the physical look. Okay? All right. So, Zoe, you got 5 minutes. Okay? All right. So now, good job, Cash. So if I say brown hair, is that genotype or phenotype?
phenotype.
Phenotype. A big B and a little b. Genotype or phenotype? Genotype.
Wait.
Okay? Small hands. Genotype or phenotype?
Genotype.
Phenotype. Good. And 2 little S's.
Genotype.
Genotype. Good job. Good job. All right. So now the next one we're looking at is dominant and recessive. Healy, stand up. Because the second time I told you to sit up on my desk.
Stand up.
Next one, dominant and recessive. If something is dominant, Alondra already told us if it's dominant, that means it's stronger, right? Recessive means weaker. Okay, boom. Genes are what you inherit from each parent. Every gene will have 2 forms of allele, dominant or recessive. Okay, they'll either be dominant or recessive. It can be both, or it can be both. Okay, the allele that shows up or can be seen is the dominant one. The one that shows up, the trait that you see, that is the dominant one. We write it as capital letters, okay? So capital R, capital S, capital T, capital Q. We write it as capital letters. Alfred's not here. All right. Okay, we write as capital letters. Recessive then, no. Recessive then is written as lowercase letters, okay? Recessive traits are written as lowercase letters. So little r, little s, little t, little q, little m, little n, little d, written as a small letter. If the trait for big nose, so here's an example. If a trait for big nose is dominant, we would use 2 big B's, okay? or one big B to represent the dominant allele, okay? If the trait for small nose is the recessive trait, we use a little
Small
b,
b.
right, to represent recessive allele. You don't change the letter, you only change the capitalization. So if it's dominant, it's going to be a big letter. If it's recessive, it's going to be a lowercase letter. Okay? Only one dominant allele, and this is very important. Only one dominant allele must be inherited for the dominant trait to be expressed or show up. This is what's called Mendelian genetics. Okay? He was the first scientist to go over this, but you're going to learn also non-Mendelian genetics. Right now, we're at Mendelian genetics, okay? Because he's the one that discovered it,
Miss, it is freezing here.
okay?
Freezing.
What? Are you cold? Okay. So, 2 recessive alleles must be inherited for a recessive trait to be expressed or to show up, okay? So, both of them have to be lowercase in order for it to show up as recessive trait, okay? Okay. That's not good. I'm gonna need to pull that up. All right, so now, look at this. I'm gonna have 1 or 2 people come up in just a second. You already did one.
Let me do it again, miss. Please.
No, get somebody else.
Well, you said 1 or 2 people. I can.
Go get somebody else. I'm the 4.
All right, well, then get me.
Actually kind of hot. All right, let's see. Daniel, come do the first one. Okay? Circle the dominant alleles. Daniel, come on. Circle the